The film begins in 13th century Russia, where we see a village located in the mountain. In this village, the chief's wife sends her two sons, Martin and Ivan, into the forest every day to practice fighting and hunting. Their father, the village chief, personally trains them in sword fighting, archery, and survival skills. With daily practice, both Martin and Ivan grow up to become strong and skilled warriors. One day, some villagers approach the chief with a complaint. They tell him that a warlord named Hojo claims ownership over their village. His men often steal their cattle and burn their crops. They say, "This village belongs to us, not him. Why don't you tell him to give up his claim?" The chief replies that he cannot do that. He explains that Hojo was once an ordinary man like him, and they used to hunt and fight together. But now Hojo has become the leader of his own army and rules over a large territory. One of the villagers asks, "So how long will this continue?" The chief suggests that they should invite Hojo to a council meeting and try to resolve the matter peacefully. Both Martin and Ivan overhear this conversation. After that, the chief tells Ivan that a dangerous bear has been spotted in Hojo's territory. Hojo and his men are coming to hunt it, and they need someone who knows the forest well. The chief asks Ivan to guide them, and in return, try to convince Hojo to attend the meeting. Agreeing to his father's request, Ivan sets out with his brother Martin to guide Hojo and his men through the forest in search of the bear. After walking for some distance, they hear the sound of the bear. Ivan immediately gets off his horse and tells everyone that they should continue on foot so they can stay alert in case of a sudden attack. Everyone follows his advice, except Hojo's daughter, Jeannie. Ignoring the warnings, she rides ahead alone on her horse, wanting to prove her bravery by hunting the bear herself. Deep in the forest, she gets off her horse and quietly begins searching for the bear. But suddenly, she falls into a large pit that leads into the bear's den. Realizing the danger, she blows a horn for help. Hearing the sound, Ivan starts searching for her. Meanwhile, inside the den, the bear senses a human presence and begins moving toward her. Terrified, Jeannie hides behind a rock. The bear follows her scent and soon comes face to face with her. Just as the bear is about to attack, Ivan arrives through an opening and thrusts his spear into the bear's stomach. The wounded bear lunges at him, but the spear is long enough to keep it at a distance. Using all his strength, Ivan pushes the spear deeper. Seeing the bear weaken, Jeannie strikes it from behind with an axe, finally bringing it down. After the danger passes, Jeannie introduces herself and asks Ivan his name. Ivan tells her who he is and explains that he was helping her father so he could invite him to their village meeting. By then, Martin and the soldiers arrive and pull both of them out of the den using ropes. Once outside, Jeannie tells her father, "This is Ivan. He saved my life and killed the bear." Hojo then asks Ivan what reward he wants for saving his daughter. Ivan replies that he doesn't want any reward. However, Jeannie reveals that Ivan actually wants to invite him to the village council meeting. Taking the opportunity, Ivan respectfully invites Hojo on behalf of his father. Hearing this, Hojo becomes angry. He says, "Have you lost your mind? I am a warlord and you are just villagers. Why would I attend your meeting?" Ivan calmly responds, "Because we are free people and your men keep claiming our land." Enraged by this, Hojo's commander steps forward to attack Ivan, but Hojo stops him. He then tells Ivan to return to his village and says that if he ever decides to attend the meeting, it will be on his own terms. After this, both brothers return to their village. Meanwhile, Jeannie begins to develop feelings for Ivan. Even after returning home, she can't stop thinking about him and decides to sneak out to meet him. But her father, Hojo, notices her and asks where she is going. She makes an excuse, saying she just wants to go outside, but complains that he never lets her go anywhere, not even to the nearby village. Hojo explains that he is only trying to protect her from danger. Jeannie responds, "If those villagers were dangerous, why would Ivan save my life?" Hojo refuses to argue and sends her back to her room. However, when Jeannie enters her room, she is shocked to see Ivan already there. He quickly quiets her and tells her that he came through the window because he likes her. Hearing this makes Jeannie happy. She tells him that she also wanted to meet him and see his village, but her father never allows her to leave. So Ivan helps her change her clothes and secretly takes her out through the window. Avoiding everyone's sight, he brings her out of the castle and takes her to his village on horseback. At that time, a cultural celebration is taking place in the village. Seeing all of this for the first time, Jeannie is amazed and enjoys every moment. Ivan introduces her to his family, and she feels a deep sense of warmth and belonging. After spending some time there, Ivan quietly takes her back and leaves her outside her castle. Before parting, the two confess their feelings for each other. Later, when Ivan returns home, his mother and Martin's wife are leaving with their uncle to visit relatives in another village. As they leave, the chief tells his brother that by the time they return, he hopes the village meeting will have resolved their problem. After some time, Ivan, Martin, and the village blacksmith go into the forest for hunting. During their journey, they come across a frightened girl from another village. Martin asks the girl what happened. Terrified, she tells them that Mongol warriors attacked her village, burned it to the ground, killed many people, and captured the rest. rest. Hearing this, Martin is shocked and anxiously asks, "My wife and my mother also went there today. What happened to them?" The girl replies that she doesn't know. Without wasting time, Ivan and Martin tell her to rush back to their village and inform everyone about the attack. Meanwhile, they decide to go to her village themselves to find out what happened. Ivan, along with Martin and the blacksmith, heads toward the destroyed village. When they arrive, they are horrified to see dead bodies scattered everywhere and the remains of burned houses. Panicked, they begin searching for their family members. Soon they find their uncle lying badly wounded. They rush to him, and with his last breath, he tells them that their mother and Martin's wife have been captured by the Mongols along with the other village women. Before they can ask anything more, their uncle dies. Now Martin suggests that they should return to their village first, but Ivan refuses, saying they don't have time. They must rescue their mother and the others immediately. Agreeing with Ivan, the three of them head toward the Mongol camp, which is set up in an open field beyond the forest. By the time they arrive, it is already night. Observing the camp, Ivan notices that there are only a few tents, meaning fewer soldiers. He suggests they move carefully and rescue the captives quietly. They hide their weapons nearby and slowly approach the camp. Inside, they witness a horrifying sight. Genghis Khan's son is brutally killing prisoners for his own amusement, shooting arrows at them one by one. After each kill, his soldiers bring another captive in front of him. Hidden in the shadows, Ivan, Martin, and the blacksmith watch all of this in silence. At the same time, Mongol soldiers are dragging captured women out of enclosures, preparing to make them their next victim. Among them is Ivan and Martin's mother. Seeing her, Martin tells Ivan to go rescue their mother while he and the blacksmith free the other villagers. Ivan moves toward his mother, while Martin and the blacksmith quietly eliminate the guards and free the prisoners from the enclosure. Meanwhile, some Mongol soldiers take Ivan's mother and tie her up in front of Genghis Khan's son, who prepares to kill her with his bow. But just before he can shoot, Ivan attacks him with his axe and knocks him down. At that moment, Martin also arrives, and together the brothers free their mother and another captured fighter. However, Genghis Khan's son gets back up and attacks them. During the fight, their mother tries to protect her sons, but she is struck and badly wounded by his sword. Enraged, Ivan and Martin kill him with their axes. They quickly gather their mother and the rescued villagers and begin to escape. But by now, the rest of the Mongol soldiers become aware of what has happened and start chasing them. Ivan and the blacksmith stay behind to fight and slow down the enemies, while Martin leads the villagers toward the forest. After some time, Ivan and the blacksmith manage to escape as well. They regroup with the others and hide inside a tunnel concealed within thick bushes. The Mongol soldiers search for them, but fail to find their hiding place. Inside the cave, Ivan and Martin see their mother's critical condition. Heartbroken, they sit beside her. With her final breath, she tells them, "I won't survive, but you must protect our village from these Mongol invaders." After saying this, she dies. Grieving deeply, the brothers carry her body and return to their village by morning. The next day, when Genghis Khan arrives at the camp with his army and sees his son's dead body, he is filled with rage. His commander apologizes, saying they arrived too late. Devastated, Genghis Khan mourns his son. During this time, he finds Ivan's locket near the body and orders his men to find the person who killed his son using it. In the next scene, the chief's village is shown. The chief, along with his sons, performs the funeral rites of his wife. Shortly after, Hojo arrives on horseback with his soldiers. He tells the villagers that although he was invited for a meeting, he has come on his own terms and declares that their village now belongs to his territory. The chief strongly opposes this and says the village is free and belongs to its people. Hojo then warns them that the Mongol army has camped nearby and only he has the strength to fight them. Otherwise, the Mongols will destroy their village just like the others. Hearing this, Martin challenges him. He proposes that one of the brothers will fight Hojo's strongest warrior. If Hojo's man wins, the village will belong to him. But if he loses, the village will remain free. Hojo accepts the challenge and adds another condition. If the brothers lose, they must serve him. The chief agrees but sets his own condition. If Hojo loses, he must join them and fight against the Mongols with his army. Hojo reluctantly agrees. The chief chooses Ivan to fight, while Hojo sends his commander. The battle begins. Ivan fights with an axe, while the commander uses a sword. Both fighters skillfully dodge attacks and try to overpower each other. At one point, the commander knocks Ivan's axe out of his hand, but Ivan quickly recovers, grabs it again, and strikes the commander's legs with the handle, bringing him to his knees. The commander grabs Ivan by the throat, but Ivan pushes him down and stops his axe at his neck, winning the fight. The chief reminds Hojo of his promise to stand with them against the Mongols. Though Hojo is reluctant, he is forced to accept defeat in front of everyone. Later, when Hojo returns to his base, he finds Genghis Khan Khan already there with his soldiers. Holding Ivan's locket, Genghis Khan offers Hojo a deal, his life in exchange for killing Ivan. Meanwhile, a villager rushes to Ivan and the chief, informing them that Hojo is approaching their lower fortress with Mongol soldiers. The chief immediately sends Ivan, Martin, and a group of men to guard the fortress. But when they arrive, they discover that the guards have already been killed by Hojo and the Mongols. Moments later, Hojo's men launch an attack on them as well. Ivan, along with his brother and a few remaining men, begins fighting against Hojo's soldiers. Even though only 4 men are on Ivan's side, they fight with everything they have, taking down several Mongol and Hojo warriors. During the battle, one of Ivan's companions is struck by an arrow. The blacksmith quickly carries him into a room inside the fortress to save him. Since Hojo's forces are much larger in number, Ivan and Martin also retreat into the room and lock the door from the inside. Standing outside, Hojo shouts, "You have killed Genghis Khan's only son. Surrender yourselves and he may spare your families and your village. But if you refuse, he will destroy everything you have." However, they refuse to surrender. Instead, one of Ivan's men shoots an arrow and kills one of Hojo's soldiers. Enraged, Hojo orders his men to fire flaming arrows at the fortress and burn it down. Soon, the fortress is set ablaze, but fortunately, the villagers are not inside. They are safe in the mountain village above. Using the smoke as cover, Ivan and his companions escape the room and rejoin the fight. During this intense battle, Hojo's commander tries his best to kill Ivan, but Ivan manages to defeat and kill him. Not far from the fortress, Genghis Khan himself is present with his army. As Ivan and Martin try to escape, Genghis fires an arrow at them, which strikes Martin in the neck. Despite being gravely injured, Martin somehow manages to escape with Ivan toward their village. Genghis then orders Hojo to send his men after them. But just as Hojo's soldiers are about to chase them, his daughter Jeannie steps in their way. Angry, Genghis tells Hojo, "Show me the path to their mountain village. I will burn it to the ground. If you refuse, I will summon my full army and destroy you and your entire land." In the next scene, Ivan and his companions reach their village and inform the chief that Hojo has joined forces with Genghis Khan and attacked their fortress. They warn that the enemy will soon arrive at the village. Meanwhile, Martin's condition worsens due to the poisoned arrow. The villagers carry him inside, but before they can save him, he dies, telling Ivan with his last breath, "There is no time. Save the village." Everyone is devastated by Martin's death. Just then, Jeannie arrives. Enraged, Ivan blames her father for his brother's death and tells her to leave. But Jeannie explains that she does not support her father. She says Hojo is only helping Genghis out of fear to protect his own power. Hearing this, Ivan allows her to stay. Soon after, the chief gathers all the villagers and explains that the Mongol army, along with Hojo's forces, will soon reach their village through the valley. He says they cannot defeat such a massive army in direct combat. One villager points out that even if they try to run, the enemy will chase and kill them. The chief then proposes a plan. They will block the valley route and destroy the dam above the river. This will stop the enemy from reaching the village. However, another villager says this plan will require time. Ivan steps forward and divides the people into 2 groups. One group will hold off the enemy in the valley, while the other will break the dam. The villagers agree and begin preparing weapons and supplies. Meanwhile, the Mongol army marches through the forest with Hojo. Back in the village, people tie a massive stone pillar with ropes near the dam. By the next morning, the enemy army reaches the valley, but Ivan and the villagers are already waiting for them. As the enemy cavalry charges forward, the villagers pull a trap made of wooden spears, killing several horsemen instantly. At the same time, Jeannie and other villagers stand on higher ground, firing arrows down at the advancing soldier. A fierce battle begins. Despite having no proper armor or helmets, the villagers fight bravely against the much stronger enemy. After some time, Ivan and his men retreat deeper into the valley, drawing the enemy in. Seeing this, one of Genghis Khan's commanders informs him, and Genghis advances further, burning houses along the way. The battle resumes inside the valley. At that moment, the chief orders the villagers to pull the ropes and drop the stone pillar to break the dam. They try with all their strength, but the pillar doesn't move. Seeing this, the Mongol commander orders his archers to attack. Several villagers are killed. Now only a few remain pulling the ropes, while others continue fighting alongside Ivan and Jeannie. Everyone knows that if the dam doesn't break, they will all die. With one final effort, the blacksmith uses all his strength to pull the rope, and finally, the pillar collapses onto the dam, breaking it. A massive flood of water rushes down the valley with unstoppable force. The Mongol and Hojo soldiers panic and try to escape. Many are swept away and killed by the raging water. Meanwhile, Ivan is captured by Hojo and a few remaining soldiers. As the flood approaches, Hojo, Genghis, and a few men climb onto a high rock, taking Ivan with them. The rest of the army is completely destroyed by the flood. Now only a few remain alive. Ivan is a captive below, and the chief, Jeannie, and a couple of villagers above. Filled with rage, Genghis orders Hojo to kill Ivan. But seeing his daughter among the villagers, Hojo changes his mind. Instead of killing Ivan, he frees him and kills the remaining Mongol soldier. Enraged, Genghis attacks Hojo and pushes him into the water. He then turns to kill Ivan, but Ivan faces him with a sword. A final battle begins. At first, Genghis overpowers Ivan, but for Ivan, it is a fight for survival. Summoning all his strength, Ivan knocks him down and drives his sword into Genghis Khan's chest, killing him. With the enemy defeated, the survivors return to their village. However, due to his injuries, the chief dies shortly after. Though they have suffered great loss, the Mongol threat is finally over. In the end, Ivan, along with the few remaining villagers and Genie, begins rebuilding their lives in the village. And this is where the story of the film comes to an end.